Vinyl community, I'm back to do a recent vinyl finds video, and I have a shit ton of stuff to show you. So this is gonna be a long video, and I'm sorry for that, but some killer stuff. Yes, I've had a bit of a luck in the crates recently. In the crates, I've been selling some stuff from my collection. A pretty old lady called me up and said she had 200 records that she wanted $30 for. So I got those records, and I've been selling off some of those to buy other ones. I've been digging through a guy's collection. He has probably 10,000 records, and I'm going there tomorrow, the day after that, again to dig some more. And yeah, really lucky. It seems not super rare stuff, some of it, but and some like not grails, but want listers that are ticked off also. So I'm going to start with those, move into a little bit more of a reissue kind of phase in this video, and it's a mixed bag between psych, prog, pop, rock, and jazz. And I'm going to finish the video off with some really great Blue Note reissues, so stay tuned for that. But starting off, and I'm sorry I haven't done the research of all the years and stuff like that now, but starting off, the Kinks, and this is Powerman Lola versus the Moneyground Part 1. And I actually didn't have any idea about this record before I bought it from this guy's collection. I got it for like $8. As you can see, there's a huge tear down here, and it has some dirt. It's not a perfect copy by any means, but it is stone cold first press on Payee, if that's how you pronounce it, with that light blue kind of magic. It has Coca-Cola in the song Lola. They edited that and censored it later on, and it also has the word fuck in, I think it's Ape Man. That was also censored on the second press, and the other ones coming after that. And it's very distinct, you can really hear it. So awesome addition to the kind of psych collection, and I don't have much Kinks, so that was a nice find. The best, hands down, the best Kinks record I've heard. No competition there. Another kind of sort of a grail. This is really getting pricey nowadays. Is this the reissue of Schizophrenia by Taste of Blues, and this is a Swedish 1969 kind of heavy prog record, and it's actually the best kind of space rock you can find on the first song. It takes up the entire side with the song Schizophrenia, and then you have kind of like hard blues rock songs on the second side. This was released by Garageland Records in 1992. It's getting up there in price. I think it was pressed in 500 copies and hasn't been reissued since. But in 1969, the original press of this is very, very expensive. And this one, as I said, is climbing up there in price also. A huge, this is a grail for me, because I've been hunting this for quite some time, and that's a first press of Giant Steps by John Coltrane. And I didn't need the US press. I just wanted a first press from any country, and I lucked out and find a copy of this Danish first press mono copy. And I have to say, this is in dead mint, and I have to say that I have a stereo 70s reissue stereo copy of this, and it was almost like hearing it for the first time. Amazing sound on this one, and one of my favorite jazz records of all time. It's great. I'm still on the hunt for kind of early press of Velvet Underground and Nico's first debut record, with a Peelable Banana. everyone is after that record, and I'm willing to pay big bucks for an unpeeled banana if it's the right pressing. And I mean, it has to be I mean, sustainable, if you get what I mean. Now, this guy was selling pretty early, 1971. I think it's a 1971 or 69. Like mint copy of the German press of this. So it's not a peelable banana. It's I think, if I did the research correctly, it's the first one that was issued without it being peelable. So this was nice to replace my kind of 180 gram sucky sounding reissue. So an early press, at least, of this one, but the hunt still continues, and I'll be willing to, or not willing, I'll be able to sell my reissue to finance some of that. Now, this is, if you're a Swedish jazz collector, this is a grail. Not in the best condition, but not that bad either. This is Jonken. He was called Jonken. And you can read the name of the record there. This was recorded 1973, and he wasn't that. He continued on to be a teacher afterwards. But this is a fantastic jazz record, very soothing jazz, not free jazz at all, but very soothing jazz. I think in the kind of bop tradition. Yeah, great record on Coop, and this is not cheap, if you know what I mean. I managed to get this for next to nothing because the cover is pretty beat, and so is the record. But there's deep grooves in this one. So after cleaning it, it sounds like VG Plus. So I'm pretty happy with getting that one, because I'm not paying that kind of stupid money for the that they are asking online. I found this in a sort of local shop, and he wasn't able to sell it for at least a month or something like that, so I haggled down the price of it. Moving on to some reissues, and this is a killer record. Highly recommended. If you see it, grab it. If you're interested, do the research and order it, because it's gonna go away pretty fast, I think. This is the original soundtrack to Daughters of Darkness by François de Robert. Looks like that. Here's the back side, and you don't need to see the okay, you do. Transparent record or vinyl. Comes in a really cool kind of custom sleeve with At the Movies, that the series is called, under Music on Vinyl. Limited to, I think, 5,000 copies maybe, or is it 1,000? This music-wise is like a blend of kind of, I mean, it's a movie soundtrack. It's a blend between John Carpenter and Goblin, if you know what I mean. Very Italian in sound, very Goblin-esque in that sort of haunting kind of music, but a little bit more mellow, a little bit more soothing, but still really horrible, if you know what I mean. This is classic stuff. This was released in 1970, like 4 or 5, something like that. But never issued on a record before, just in the movie. And we're glad for that they released it. Another reissue, a guy was selling off some of his kind of reissues or a little bit more modern vinyl. And I managed to grab like 5 copies. I think he wanted like $12 a piece. And one of them was this one. This was still in shrink, so I just took it off the shrink right now. It's Alice in Chains' Black Gives Way to Blue. It's a gatefold. This is the back side, and this is the original press from 2009 on transparent vinyl. I just finished listening to this, and the sound, just start with the sound, it's amazing, and what a comeback for this band. I mean, the singer really sounds like Lane Stanley, but I think even if he sounds like Lane Stanley, he has his own voice. Doing his thing, you can really you hear that it's Alice in Chains kind of record. I was very surprised, and I had this for sale because I bought it to flip it, because I got such a great deal on it, and I had it for sale. I offered this to Christopher for a trade, and he hasn't said anything. I guess he already has it, so if he want it, it's his. But I'm taking it off the sales list because it's such a great record, man. My God, it sounds perfect on the with the equipment I have, and yeah, really bass was really kicking on this one. So yeah, I mean, highly recommended. Cheers, having some Amarone wine. It's Friday evening, just came home from work. I've been sick with like the man flu for the entire last weekend. Just thought like doing a video this Friday night. Okay, moving on. This is I wanted this for a while, and the prices on the original is very expensive, and even this reissue is kind of expensive. So I haven't really pulled the trigger on it. And my mom was at a huge store called Gekås. All you Swedes know about it. And they actually had this. This is like in the attic, US import in like the equivalent of Walmart. So it's like you guys going out in a Walmart store and finding a Swedish import record. Not quite exactly like that, but almost. Rocky Erickson and the Aliens, I think they were called, the Evil Ones. So this is the two kind of EPs, or was it records mashed into one? And this is just, I mean, I say it all the time, but why would I bother to buy crap records that I think is bad? This is a masterpiece. God damn it, this is so damn good. There's not a single second on this one that is bad, and it sounds terrific. It came with the OB from Light in the Attic with some information and a thick ass book, and they wanted like $20 for it, which is cheaper than if I ordered it online or bought it in an actual record store. So yeah, I'm really stoked that she found it. She sent me pictures, and I was like, oh shit, Rocky Erickson, take that. And I have another one that I also bought, which sounds good at least. So, but I got them for free by my mom. I love her. She knows I'm a vinyl addict. So, moving on to some jazz. This is first. I think it's a Italian first press, but it says online that it's a French press. But this is Force by Max Roach and Archie Shepp. 2 LP set, 3 movements, 1 on each side, and the last movement is for South Africa, and it's 76. This is killer. Reminds you or me a lot of Duo Exchange that Rashid Ali did. You know, that kind of tenor sax and just drums. And Max Roach, I've never heard him play so free and so vicious like on this record. If you're into that sort of duo free jazz, check this out. It's I guess it's a classic in that sort of sub-genre. Records are falling down. Let's hear. Yeah, still recording. I'm recording this on the back camera of my new phone. So in my last video I just tested the front camera. Now I'm testing the back camera. Okay, so I told you I brought 200 records home, like 3 boxes moving boxes with records, and I had no idea what it was. I just paid the $30 and took it home with me, and I managed to get one moving box with stuff that I'm going to sell as a bunch to like a store or something like that. Nothing that's like mind-blowing. I found another, I made another box of the records with just stuff that I'm going to throw away, and I'm actually going to throw it away because it's a sort of, it's for mankind to get rid of these records, if you know what I mean. You see them all the time in like church shops and stuff like that. And I managed to find like maybe half a box of just stuff that I'm going to listen to, see if I'm going to keep it, or I'm going to sell them one by one because they are worth a little bit more than the standard kind of $2, $3, $4, $5. And this was one of those records that I found that I've listened to and that I think I'm going to keep. It's Patches by Clarence Carter on Atlantic Records, 1969 maybe. Let's say 69. Feels like a 69 record. Smells more like 71, but feels like 69. And this was killer. And if you want to listen to one track from this, it's definitely the title track, Patches. So much heartache in one bluesy song. Fantastic. So check that out. Patches by Clarence Carter, highly recommended. First US press. In the same store that I found Jonken, I actually also bought this kind of on a hunch for $20, but you can buy records on a hunch for $20. I don't usually do that, but this is Mike Osborne Quintet, and I love Mike Osborne's sax playing, such a fat sound. Marcel's Muse, and this is on Ogun. So with him and with the bassist Harry Miller on Ogun, I knew that I didn't go wrong, and this is a great free jazz record. And I'm actually gonna buy all the Ogun records when I see them for a decent price, because up to this date I haven't heard a single bad Ogun record. They had such a great stock of highly talented jazz musicians. So yeah, this was kind of a surprise. Not too long ago, I told you that I'm not a huge fan of gong. I haven't really understood gong up to date. And this was at that 10,000 Records guy's home. So I got it for a great price, and it's a reissue, Banana Moon by David Allen, with Robert Wyatt and Archie Leggett, Gary Fields, Gary Wright. And this was actually brought to us by BYG from the start, 1971, and had a black bar here with white letters. So this is the 1980 reissue on this sort of Oxford Charlie, I don't know, crazy label, kind of cheapo label, I guess, from 1980. So I got it for a great price, next to nothing, and I couldn't leave it there, so I brought it home. Musically, this is a lot better than Angel's Egg that I have, in my opinion. This is a lot of people are ranking this as a gong record more than a David Allen solo record, but I don't know, I have nothing to compare with. I would say that half of the songs on this is really good, and half of the songs is just like so. The quirky songs, like the almost circus songs, it's not really my bag. It's the kind of Zappa-esque quirky songs, if you understand what I mean. But I think that Zappa does it better. But I will get probably the entire world of psych and prog lovers on me right now for dissing gong. So I'm moving on. From the same guy, I also got this, a pretty early press of Zabriskie Point, the Antonioni movie soundtrack, and this has Grateful Dead, Pink Floyd, obviously, Kaleidoscope, which has a great song, this one, in Youngbloods. Brother Mary by Kaleidoscope, so good. But the Pink Floyd songs is actually really, really good. And it's cool because I think that they are only issued on this as an ordinary record. Maybe they had some of those songs on compilations, but I'm not totally sure. But this is a record that I've thought that I like, when I see it I'll pick it up, and this was the day. I think I paid like $5 for it, something like that. Not a first press, but a pretty early one. He had this also. I've seen it in stores before, and so this was like $5 also. This is Yoko Ono's Something Different from 1973. And it has John Lennon on it, also playing guitar and singing background. A killer lineup with Jim Keltner and some other guys. And this is actually, I mean, I associate Yoko Ono with very avant-gardistic kind of art music, sound collages, using her voice like an instrument, and a lot of those moments of hers is not really my bag. So I was a little bit on the fence of this, but yeah, it's there is nothing of that. These are straight up pop songs, really. A little bit progressive also. I haven't got Fly. I'm still looking for a copy of Fly. I would really like to hear that record. I'm waiting for a vinyl copy to listen to that. But I'm guessing that maybe this is a little bit more radio friendly, if you want to label it. Cheers. So this is half. I mean, we're like on 20 minutes. So, and you're realizing that you just watched a Swede drink wine. This is your like evening or afternoon or morning. You're looking at a stupid Swede drinking wine on a Friday evening here in Sweden. So this could be a grail, and I could have shown this earlier in the video, but it's not good. So but it's really expensive. But this is an early Monica Zetterlund record, a Swedish jazz vocalist. As you can see, there's a sticker mark here. Yeah, and it has some great players also on it, but this is the kind of Monica Zetterlund record that I don't appreciate. There's not, if I have, I mean, gun to my head, there's not a good song on this record, in my opinion. It's not, I mean, no, there's not a good song on this. So I'm definitely gonna sell this. I got this for free by the guy because it's not in the best shape. But the record sounds okay. But he said just like, you can take it. He thought it was a $1 record. It's more of a maybe $30-40 record, and could have been the most expensive record I bought. So the Rocky Erickson record, in the same store my mom also got me this. This is the newly remastered Metallica record, or one of the Metallica records. Kill 'Em All, and I'm gonna buy Ride Lightning also. But I had early pressings of these ones, and I sold them or traded them for like huge grails, Krokodil and Svanfridur and those kind of records. I mean, and I didn't need the early pressings, so it was time to buy this back. And obviously, I mean, everyone knows about the music on this. So the sound quality of the new reissues, yeah, it sounds good. They sound a little bit digital. And it doesn't have the same punch as in my opinion, as the early pressings that I had before, but it's still very decent. So I mean, if you're looking to just buy a Metallica record, you can order this for, I mean, ordinary reissue price anywhere. So yeah, Okay, so moving on to moving back and forth, but this is the first one. I found box of CDs in my garage from moving here 2 years ago, 3 years ago, to the house. I haven't even packed them up because it's like it was stuff that I had in my CD collection when I was a kid. So Stained, Puddle of Mud, God, what was Linkin Park, Rob Zombie, I think. So what I did was I sorted out all the CDs that I wanted to keep, because I have a CD player here in my cellar and I have a CD player in my car, but I don't listen to CDs. So some of the stuff I couldn't, get rid of, like my Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Mars Volta and Foo Fighters and some metal like Slipknot and stuff like that I collected. But so what I ended up with was maybe like 30, 60 CDs, ABBA, Roxette, a Kent record or CD. So I wrote to this store, pretty local here, and asked if they wanted it. So she said that I could have like $70, and I said like, if you give me $100 in trade in, and so I have that in store when I come the next time to buy vinyl. It's a deal, and she took it. So I had some money to spend in this store, and to be honest, it wasn't that good. But they had some jazz, so I spent all that money on jazz records, and this was the first one I found. Book a Little out front. Book a Little and his quintet featuring Max Roach, and you also have Eric Dolphy, Julian Priester, Art Davis, John Carter, Don Friedman, and this is I think this is the early 70s reissue on Barnaby, something like that. Music-wise, this is such a killer jazz record. Highly recommended to anyone, and every jazz fan needs this in their collection. This is to die for. I mean, it flew up right away in at least top 25 jazz records that I've ever heard. Fantastic jazz. Moving back to the guy with 10,000 records, I also bought this. Eerie Apartments, Sunrise. This is sort of psych pop on Buddha Records. Kind of cheap. Has some tunes on it that is pretty good. In pretty rough condition, but very cheap. By the guy, I also got kind of, I think, maybe a first Scandinavian press of Birth of Cool with Miles Davis. So I think Birth of Cool, or if it was Miles Davis on the Ordinary records from the first presses, was in red, and here it's all gray, and it's on Capitol. But all you jazz fans out there knows about these labels and can decipher which sort of in what sequence they was released. But classic record. I have the first UK press of this now and the first Scandinavian press of this. So I'm probably gonna sell one of them, the one that sounds the worst, because that's who I am. I sell the crap to people who wants it. Cheers. And once again, you watch the Swede drinking wine. Moving on with some jazz, and going back to the store where I had some credit in. I bought Miles Davis in person at the Black Hawk, San Francisco, Volume 2. They didn't have Volume 1, so that was a shame. This is a second or third US press of this one, but I didn't have this in my Miles collection, so I grabbed it right away. And now to, I mean, we're segueing here. I'm sorry, but now to the VCLT I got from Chris Trenkill, and he sent me this. This is Cheap Heat, as he says, dollar record. I don't care. Ask Anyone from 1976, and it just as the little note says, this is killer. I can't believe that this is a $1 record. If this cost $100, people would be interested in this, and I would see this more than this being a dollar record. That's just my opinion. And going through these in the order of how good they are, I'm sorry, but I have to show this. I got three records, and Flying Shoes, Townes Van Zandt. This is a awesome record, and I'm so glad to add this to my Townes collection, which is based today. This is the third record I have. This was still sealed when I got it from Chris, and I opened it up, and it has some what's called warp, but it doesn't affect the playing of it. Really good. Thank you so much, Chris. But the piece de résistance, music-wise at least, this is Ill Considered Live at the Crypt Part 2 from 2018. Actually, a reissue of this that he sent to me, limited to 300. I mean, I was floored when the needle dropped on this one, and I've listened to some Ill Considered afterwards, and I'm gonna do my best to see if I can find as many Ill Considered records as I can. This is the answer to people who says that jazz is dead, or no good jazz is being put out today. This is just like better than most you hear, even from back in the good old days. Mind-blowing jazz. Mind-blowing jazz. From the 200 records I got, there was this one that I didn't have in my collection. This is going straight into the shelf. This is United with Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, 1967 on Tamla Motown, and this is, I think, a maybe mid 70s press. But the funny thing with this collection was I tried to ask the almost old lady where she got it from. She got it from her like nieces or cousins or something like that, and they in turn got it from an old man that have 4,000 records, which is all like the same. So she got it to kind of like sell in her thrift store for $30. And all of them is like, the quality of the record covers is like this. So it has some shelf wear, and I mean, they've been sitting in an attic or a garage, something like that. But the records is in mint condition, like they are never played. You know the sound that a record does when you open it for the first time and you pull it out from the record, almost like there's a air pocket. So when you pull it out, you have to pull a little bit harder the first time you pull it out. All the records does that, and they are in mint condition. It's like this guy never played them, and some of them was sealed. So I'm thinking this guy had a record store or a dead stock or something like that, because they are in fucking mint condition, all of them. So it was like dropping the needle on a record I just bought back in 1975, 78. I don't know when this was put out, but this reissue. But it's so cool. 34 minutes. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. There is so much to go through, and you have other things to do. And okay, going back to the store where I had some credit, I also found a Blue Note copy of Miles Davis Volume 2. So a compilation of all the 10 inches that he put out on Blue Note Records. And this is with Horace Silver, J.J. Johnson, Percy Heath, and Art Blakey. Killer stuff. I mean, classic Miles back in the 50s. Just really great stuff. And of all the reissue Blue Notes and jazz stuff that I got. This is probably my favorite. Let me tell you about it by Leo Parker. Leo Parker, this last record he made in 1961 before he died of, I think it was a condition that he had or something like that. I did the research but can't remember now. He was just like 23, 24 years old, and he had 3 kids at that age. That's pretty impressive. But other than Leo Parker, there's no one on this one that I know about. John Burks, Bill Swindle, Yusef Salim, Stan Conover, and Pernell Rice on drums. But this is awesome, like kind of standard bebop stuff. Very like very 1961, like Blue Note standard jazz, but with a twist. Sounds fantastic, and pressing quality was good too. They sound great, so I'm really happy. Not a Blue Note record, but a CBS, and this is actually I think this is a first press of this English first press, A Touch of Satin by J.J. Johnson Quartet. And this is, he actually took Cannonball Adderley's rhythm section and to record this record, and there's the label there. Really killer stuff. Not as good as Leo Parker, but still good. Not super recommended. If you find it cheap, grab it, but don't expect it to be like earth-shattering. And another J.J. Johnson with Clifford Brown, John Lewis, Charles Mingus, and Kenny Clark. Volume 1, this is called. This was good too. I mean, it's trombone based, trombone led, so that will give you a hint of the sound. And I also got this, which was also good. Stanley 13, Grant Green, Horace Parlan, George Tucker, and Al Herwood, up at Minton's. Also a reissue from, I think, late 70s, early 80s. And another one, this is definitely 70s at least, but Impulse record with J.J. Johnson and Kai Winding. I think he's called Kai Winding, something like that. So Impulse reissue. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean, kind of standard jazz, nothing to write home about really, but it's good. And this was great, especially the last track on the first side. It's You or No One, I think, where he or Conversation, the last song on the second side. But Max Roach, Deeds Not Words on Riverside, also reissue, as you can see, the barcode, where he really freaks out, like super freaks out on the drums, having a drum solo, and yeah, you just have a smile on your face. Like Max Roach is really giving the drums a hard time. So that's it. A lot of records. I'm sorry, long ass video, but what do you do? I'll be back soon because I have, I think, almost as many records still to go through and listen to. Some really good. So maybe I'll be back on Sunday. Who knows? Have a great day, everyone. Bye. I think it's the 3rd or the 4th time you're watching a Swede drinking wine. Don't you have anything else to do but sitting there watching me drink wine, talking about records? Yeah, but it's the best thing you can do, really. Bye.